Capricorn.
Hello Capricorn, this is your April forecast for 2017, and we have a whole list of planets going retrograde this month. And what is that going to do for all of us? Well, it's a time to actually reflect on the past, and it's not really the best of time to move forward on new projects or whatnot, but to look at what we have in hand. And we have Mercury, we got Venus, we got Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto retrograde. So there's already a lot presented for us that we can work with. There might be opportunities from the past, or maybe people coming out of the woodwork from the past that you haven't seen for a long time. Those kind of things. Now Mars is moving forward, so you do have your momentum as far as driving towards your goals. Right now, children are very important for you in this picture, or also your own creativity. The fifth house is all about self-expression. It is about the business that you have and where you're wanting to go to achieve these goals. So I can see how love and romance too might come into the picture as far as this goes. This is where Mars is at, right? And Venus being retrograde, well, at least until April 15th, you might just see that there's karmic situations that are wanting to front themselves to find a resolve or a conclusion, or just get some closure on unfinished business. That's what that is all about. But let's take a look at these retrogrades first before we look at the calendar. We have Mercury going retrograde April 10th through May 14th. It's going to start out just inside of your fifth house, all right? So you're going to have a little bit of that creative energy and self-expression and interaction with children and whatnot, and romance too. And then it's going to retrograde back into your fourth house, which has to do with family and foundation, the residence where you live. So there might be things here now that will come out that you need to rework or retweet. Now, since we're talking about property, it's not a good time to sign for anything unless you did that in the past prior to the retrograde. In that case, you're okay, but any new signing of documents, we'd like to wait if we can, but you know how the show must go on, right? Until after May 14th. Say if you can give it an extra week, you're even better off. Now, with Venus retrograde, it will bring back situations of love and passion, also money and so forth. This will move forward again after April 15th, currently in your fourth house. No, I'm sorry. Currently in your, fourth house, but it will move back into your third house of communication. So that has to do with any interaction that you have with your siblings. There might be money issues coming up that you'd like to discuss with them, or they might want to discuss with you. It has to do with short distance travel. It could also have to do with, say, proposals that you're sending out, since the third house has to do with agreements and contracts and anything written, verbal, or presentations. If you're giving interviews, this, may be a little bit of a tricky time, but it shall pass soon. Jupiter retrograde, currently in your 10th house since February. You might have felt how the pressure has slacked off a little bit. When Jupiter is here, it's wanting to grow, it's wanting to expand and get out there. But when Jupiter is sleeping, it's still, not too much of a negative because it's such a positive energy, but it may not bring you as quickly as you had hoped on certain things. Saturn is the taskmaster. It's also that karmic guard, if you wish. It keeps us real in this three-dimensional world. It's always wanting us to grow to our highest ability to master whatever area that it is transiting. And for you, it's in the 12th house. So that's subconsciously in your subconscious house, and karmically bringing situations to the forefront. Now I feel when it is retrograde, things are slowing down here too. It's more like Saturn's reflecting over the overall 28 years of where it has transited through your chart and making amends, and also looking at what was good And also in dream time, wanting to figure out what it wants to do with the rest of your life over the next 28, 29 years too. It's in the stage of the cocoon, right? Wanting to birth itself once it gets into your first house, which is not anytime quite yet soon anyway. Pluto is all about transformation, and you've been undergoing a lot of changes here as these last couple of years, Capricorn. You have become that much more empowered. Think about the Plutonian people. They rule, right? And so you've been more in that sense of rulership, empowered by self. Right now you're going to feel that that transformation is slowing down. You can kind of relax more into it. You don't have to feel that you have to go out with prestige at this point. It's okay to relax in who you are for the time being. Now, this planet will retrograde on April 21st, straight through that of September 29th. So once we have these retrogrades cleared out, your main focus right now is on family and home. Also, like I said, your siblings, short distance travel, communications, proposals, anything of written, verbal type energy. And this is because of Venus going back into it. And then your creativity. That's the main areas. Now, in your moon or rising sign reading, you might find where these planets are coming out in other areas of your chart. Gives you a much wider span of what you can expect April will bring. And before we start on the calendar, I just also want to mention and bring to your attention, if you're not getting these YouTubes in your email, which you should as a subscriber, right? And you wonder why isn't it coming to my email, then you want to go to your settings in YouTube. You'll find that you're probably checked off to where YouTube says that they'll occasionally send you a video. So you want to uncheck that. Then all the uploads will go directly to you as soon as they are sent out, and you'll have them right there fresh, right? So listen, top of the month, that is April 3rd. The first thing that we encounter is Venus now going back into Pisces, where it's been operating in the month of March. So you will have an extended time now, though, retrograde, and that will be for you in your third house. On the 6th, Mars and Pluto are in a beautiful trine aspect. Mars being fire, and it's also your goals and things that you're trying to attain, is getting support from Pluto, which is super powered. And for you, that will be between your first and fifth house. So you could see, probably most likely, that your creative projects might take an upswing, even though I'm feeling that there's so many other aspects now that are retrograde. You could still attain a lot here around the 6th. The 7th to the 9th, though, we have a little bit of a challenge, and it has to do with our choices. Sun and Jupiter are opposed, so we're not really seeing eye to eye with the enthusiasm that we might be feeling, as opposed to somebody around or circumstances around you might want to kind of hold you back. And that is because on the 8th and 9th, we have Venus squaring off on Saturn. Now, Venus is retrograde at that time. Saturn is retrograde at that time. There's a karmic issue that might come up and hold you back and needing to be dealt with. Might be a little reaction for that there on the 9th. But then on the 14th, you can expect the unexpected. This is the Sun and Uranus. They are conjunct, always bringing surprising, unexpected news. For you, this will take place in the area of the home. Okay, so a family member might surprise you, or maybe you're the one to bring surprise to a family member. On the 15th, Venus goes direct, so she's going to start picking up energy. Currently, at that point, in your third house, moving slowly back into your fourth house. This gives you an extended, longer time with family and family members, the love that you have and hold for them, but also beautifying your home. You might just find yourself rearranging the furniture, getting new paints on the walls and so forth. I might have mentioned that for you earlier in March, but that was when Venus was direct. Now it's retrograde. So you get a second chance. If you didn't catch it the first time, you might catch it now. So we have the most romantic evening, or day, should I say, of the month. That will be the 17th. Venus and Mars, they're doing the dance. There's a beautiful sextile, so you might want to go out and celebrate that. For those of you in a relationship, will have a beautiful time. But for those of you who are single, you might just meet somebody, so don't sit at home. This is a day not only where you are magnetically very charming and attractive, but the Sun and Saturn on the very same day are also lined up beautifully. Now the thing is, Saturn is retrograde, so this could mean that you might meet somebody from the past that can come back around. It could even be a past life love coming in, giving this sense of familiarity which soulmates feel when they meet for the first time, right? So that could be true for a few of you out there. But the good thing is that Saturn's wanting to lock it in because it feels good. There's a trine. So some of you might even find yourself getting engaged or even married around this time. On the 19th, the Sun moves into your sister sign of Taurus. This brings a lot more, should I say, weight to your own sun sign. Taurus gives us all that feeling how it is to be a Taurus, only for that little window of time for a month. But Tauruses are very focused on quality. They like what they like, which is expensive and good and beautiful food, wine, and so forth, qualities. And you might just find yourself feeling more attracted to those things yourself at this time. Money-wise, think about Taurus as great business people. You yourself will be a little bit more focused now on money and maybe generating a second income stream through your hobbies. And I say that only because you have your 5th house there in Taurus. The Sun is going to be moving through here, so you're going to be really getting into your talents, your skills, your knack and know-how, and you might want to express this in very artistic ways, not only because Taurus has great artistic capability, especially when it comes to music and singing and so forth, colors and patterns, but it's the 5th house itself, which is also extremely creative. So a wonderful time for you from the 19th onwards. On the 21st, Mars moves into Gemini, so it's moving out of Taurus, out of your 5th house for creativity, and into your area of health. So you may be looking at wanting perhaps to start a diet, go back and do some workouts. You know, it's really being physically oriented. The 6th house ruled by Virgo is always very health conscious. But it's also your day-to-day routines. So having Gemini here, you might just see that you're wanting to change up a few routines so that you can become more efficient down the road if you lay down a new foundation for it. On the 21st, we have a recap of what took place on April 8th. So if you recall or you have a journal, you might see what took place. Remember, there was that little challenge there, right? Here, Venus now is moving forward. Saturn's still retrograde, but this is a time where I feel that you could settle the accounts. If it wasn't settled back then, I think this recap is giving you now a second chance to see that you can find a harmonious solution to everyone that is involved. And that really is supported by Mercury and Saturn on the 24th. Mercury is retrograde, and so is Saturn. So it's really talking about issues that has occurred prior. We're not talking about the future. We're talking about where we've been, what we've done, right? But the aspect, regardless of them being retrograde, is in a beautiful trine. So that tells me that whatever agreements that are coming to the forefront right now are absolutely workable, doable. It's between your 4th house and your 12th house, so that's the spiritual houses. So I'm feeling it's something that touches you deeply within. On the 28th, we have the unexpected news coming from Mercury and Uranus, and for you this will be through your 4th house of family. So you might come to surprise somebody within the family, or maybe they will show up and then surprise you with some unexpected news. Now, we do have our full moon, April 10th, for you, that will be in the career area, Capricorn. So, and since this full moon is touching just slightly upon Jupiter before it comes in at full degree, I'm sensing there could be maybe a proposal coming your way or an opportunity that's going to be highlighted. Pay attention to it, especially if this is something coming from the past, which would be really good. Then don't worry that the planets are retrograde, because it was before the retrogrades, right? So you're all good. But the new moon will be on April 26th. This is in the area for you in the 5th house. So new beginnings, right? There's always new beginnings when we have a new moon. So in the area of your children, self-expression, creativity, the businesses that you own, your hobbies and love and romance, all that fun stuff is all bottled up in that 5th house. This is where these new beginnings are going to be showing to you. And of course, you're still, I feel, gathering all that good news that came from the solar new moon eclipse there in February. So after 1 month, which would be the end of March, that would have unfolded and showed you where you're heading. This month also it's showing up here in this area. So good luck with that. Go listen to your moon and rising sign. I'll see you in May. Thank you for watching. Bye now.